Most Spartan stories begin the exact same way, with a massive wall of shields, a roar in the dust, and a stubborn king choosing death over surrender. But not every Spartan became a legend by making a glorious last stand. One of the most dangerous and brilliant commanders in ancient history made his name by doing the exact opposite of what was expected. When we think of traditional Spartan warriors, we picture identical, hulking men fighting shoulder to shoulder in a massive, slow wall of bronze and muscle. That uniformity was intentional. Every male citizen in Sparta was forced into a severe childhood training machine called the agoge. This system used pain, starvation, and hardship to press young boys into one exact mold. The entire goal of the agoge was to erase individuality. Sparta wanted perfectly obedient, identical cogs for its military machine. That total conformity gave Sparta its terrifying strength on the battlefield, but it also made independent, creative thought extremely rare among its generals. Somehow, a commander named Brasidas survived this crushing system and came out completely different. Instead of pressing him into a rigid, identical soldier, the constant pressure of the agoge forged him into an incredibly adaptable thinker. His unique mindset would be put to the ultimate test during the Peloponnesian War. This was a devastating, decades-long conflict between Sparta's fierce land army and the wealthy, dominant Athenian naval empire. While his peers were drilled exclusively to hold the shield line, Brasidas earned his legendary status because he was willing to sprint completely past it. By the middle of the war, Sparta's slow, predictable strategy was failing. The situation looked so grim that they actively tried to seek peace and essentially surrender. Sparta faced a severe leadership crisis. The older, traditional generals were frozen, confused about how to fight an enemy that refused to play by their old, rigid rules. This diagram shows the traditional setup. A slow-moving Spartan block marches and halts directly in front of the Athenian line. But at Methone, Brasidas broke this pattern. While older commanders hesitated, he rapidly flanked the enemy to secure the town. His blazing improvisation shattered the Spartan tradition of cautious steadiness. He proved that pure speed and initiative could shift the momentum of a losing war. A few years later, Brasidas was sent on a massive expedition to the north to disrupt the Athenian Empire. Here, he swapped his sword for a completely unexpected weapon, his words. When his army arrived at the Athenian-controlled city of Acanthus, he easily could have burned the surrounding fields and starved the city. Instead, he walked up to the gates and asked to speak to the citizens. He engaged in pure psychological warfare, delivering highly charismatic speeches, framing himself as a liberating hero, offering them a choice rather than a conquering villain demanding submission. His diplomacy worked flawlessly. City by city, he unpicked the Athenian Empire, resulting in the rapid, bloodless capture of Amphipolis, one of Athens' wealthiest and most vital cities. Brasidas showed the ancient world that a massive, well-funded empire is highly vulnerable to a perfectly timed, persuasive idea. Athens was deeply humiliated by the loss of Amphipolis. They immediately sent their top political leader, Cleon, with a massive force to violently take the city back. Instead of waiting inside the walls, Brasidas launched a chaotic, lightning-fast charge right out of the gates that completely broke the Athenian forces. The victory came at a tragic cost. In the brutal close-quarters fighting, both Brasidas and Cleon were fatally wounded. In his final moments, Brasidas held on just long enough to hear breathless messengers run up and confirm that his army had won and the city was completely safe. The locals of Amphipolis were so profoundly moved by his sacrifice that they buried this foreign Spartan inside their own city walls, honoring him for generations as their actual founding father. Brasidas achieved eternal legendary status. He did it by outrunning every expectation placed upon him and refusing to stand still in the shield wall. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most unconventional thinkers, hit the subscribe button below. We have plenty more hidden histories coming your way.